The episode begins with Rasmus, Sarah, Fi, and Simone arriving at the base and deciding to prepare for Rasmus' cure. Fi takes Sarah to her sterilized room while Rasmus returns to isolation. Later at night, when Rasmus tries to sleep, he gets a vision of his younger self sitting beside him and suggesting he stop Simone from trying to cure him. Afraid, Rasmus tries going to sleep again, but remembers his father and Sten talking about his potential after he grows old. The next day, Rasmus wakes and freshens up. At the same time, Simone enters his room and informs him that she and Fi are trying their best to complete the preparation for his treatment. Hearing this, Rasmus asks Simone to let him think about his future. Noticing some maturity in Rasmus, Simone asks him if it is because Sarah told something to him. In reply, Rasmus just laughs and teases her by Martin's name. Later, Simone approaches Lee and apologizes for lying to her before. Lee calms her down and motivates her to stay strong. Simone also tells her that Martin and Patrick have left them and walked away from the place. Meanwhile, Martin and Patrick can be seen walking toward the place that they saw in the video to take out the capsules from their body. Despite having no proof of the existence of the place, the duo continues walking forward. Inside the lab, Fi examines Rasmus' blood samples and calls Simone to inform her that she has succeeded to find out the composition of the virus and may have a cure for him. Afraid, Simone reveals to Fi that if they fail the treatment, she will have to kill Rasmus. Hearing this, Fi assures Simone that they will take their chance and try their best to not harm Rasmus and also cure the virus inside him. Eventually, Fi starts to prepare an antidote solution for Rasmus and puts it on a machine to finalize its composition. In the next scene, Rasmus visits Sarah and tells her that he wants to get cured so that he can be together with her. He also reveals about having some weird visions about his younger self, which continuously asks him to stop being cured. Listening to this, Sarah suggests he listen to his younger self and try to live with it. During their conversation, Sarah tries to touch Rasmus, but this makes the latter angry and he walks away from the room. In the meantime, Martin and Patrick are walking towards their destination while they witness the strangers capturing a couple of women and taking them to their headquarters. The women, along with a large number of other people, are gathered at a place by Sten, where he tells them everything about Rasmus and that he can help them cure the virus. Sten also announces to free the person who provides them with information about Rasmus. During this time, Martin and Patrick continue their journey and notice an entire forest covered with the deadly black virus, compelling them to change their route. On the other hand, Lee prepares a secret place for herself, and Jean and sticks the drawings of all the good moments they enjoyed together on the walls. The scene then shifts to Rasmus, who is overwhelmed and confused because of the repeated hallucinations that he is getting from his younger self. He rushes to the lab room and tries to inject the antidote prepared by Fi into himself. Luckily, Simone intervenes in time, calms him down, and sends him back to his room. Despite getting back to his room, Rasmus continues to hear some disturbing sounds and heads back to the lab room. This time he directly takes the antidote in a syringe and injects it into himself. As soon as he injects the dose, he falls to the floor and crawls towards Simone. In the following scene, Patrick and Martin spot a big building and decide to take a look inside it. When the duo enters the building, they are amazed by what they see inside, as it looks like an experimenting lab where the virus had been engineered. They visit further and hear someone speaking from afar. They follow the sound and enter a room to find a person whose body is covered with the black virus. Having no clue about how to react to the situation, Patrick suddenly recognizes the tattoo on the patient's hand, which is similar to what he saw at the door of the secret room. While the two are wondering about the condition of the patient, a doctor-like man enters the room, wearing an Apollon shirt, and injects something inside the patient. Martin tries to stop him, but he does not pay any attention and continues his work. He also tells Martin that the injection he gave to the patient will react after 1 minute and 53 seconds. Afraid, Martin and Patrick try to break the door but fail to do so. Luckily, before a few seconds are left, Martin forces the doctor to open the door. Just as they walk out, the body inside the experiment room collapses, and blood is splattered all over the glass door. Enraged, Patrick approaches the doctor and asks him about what he was doing. The doctor tells them that all of his experiments have failed and they still have no cure for the virus. At last, he requests Martin to shoot him and end his misery. Hearing this, Martin and Patrick become afraid and run away from the place. Soon, Martin starts thinking about returning to the base and informing the group about the consequences of treating Rasmus. Later, after all the preparations for Rasmus' operation is over, Simone mixes some sleeping pills in his food and asks him to eat it. At this moment, Rasmus denies having the operation, but soon the pills start showing its effects and he falls asleep. Taking this opportunity, Fi and Simone prepare to treat Rasmus despite him gaining back consciousness and trying to stop the girls. When Fi steps forward to inject the antidote in him, Rasmus surprisingly breaks the belt holding him and starts releasing the black virus. The virus aggressively moves towards Simone. Seeing this and to save Simone, Lee walks inside the lab room and sacrifices herself. In the meantime, Simone picks the needle and injects the antidote into Rasmus. Because of the virus, Lee dies instantly, making Jean and others upset. In the following scene, Simone is mourning Lee's death, while Jean is totally devastated. Simone and Fi hope that Rasmus is cured and is out of danger. Meanwhile, Martin and Patrick can be seen running towards the base, while Patrick stumbles on the root of a tree and falls to the ground. He seems injured, and seeing this, Martin lunges toward him to wrap a bandage around his injured knee. After bandaging, Martin and Patrick decide to continue their journey, but the stranger's drone spots them and they get surrounded by the strangers out of nowhere. In the meantime, Simone and Fi enter Rasmus' room to check on him. When Rasmus inquires about what happened to Lee, Fi replies to him that she tried to protect him and got killed in the process. Rasmus blames himself for Lee's death and immediately walks away from the room to be alone. Elsewhere, Jean is standing in front of Lee's grave and crying for her as she was his girlfriend. In the next scene, Patrick and Martin are brought to Sten, where they notice that Sten is building a huge human force to find Rasmus. They meet with Sten inside a room, where he informs them that they cannot cure Rasmus. He also mentions that he is planning to study Rasmus and help humans adapt to the virus, as they also have no idea how to stop it. At last, Sten orders Kira to kill Patrick and Martin, thinking that they can cause a hindrance to his upcoming plans. Following this, Kira takes Patrick and Martin into the woods, but rather than killing them, she asks them to return to the base and get Rasmus for her. She also informs them that she too is against Apollon and needs Rasmus to find the cure to the virus. With this, the scene flashes back in time when Kira is running into the forest with her mother, trying to hide from the strangers. To save her daughter and to win the strangers' trust, Kira's mother hands over a gun to Kira and shoots herself using it. Soon, Kira is apprehended and the strangers bring her to their headquarters. Back to the present, Fi studies the progress of Rasmus and examines his new blood sample for the virus. Moments later, the blood scan comes out positive and Fi informs Simone that Rasmus is now free from the virus and is completely cured. Hearing this, Simone becomes ecstatic and hugs Fi tight. In the meantime, two ladies hired by Apollon approach Jean and threaten to shoot him if he does not tell them about Rasmus. Surprisingly, Jean agrees to take them to Rasmus, as he wants to avenge Lee's death. Moments later, when Rasmus is trying to spend some romantic time with Sarah, the ladies attack and capture them both. After not finding Rasmus around, Simone goes to meet Jean and inquires with him about her brother. However, an enraged Jean replies that Rasmus has been taken away by some ladies. Hearing this, Simone immediately visits Fi and asks her to help her find Rasmus. On the other hand, Rasmus and Sarah are brought to the exit door and ask to open the lock. Right then, Rasmus pretends to have a seizure because of the virus, making the ladies afraid and run away from there. Soon, Simone and Fi find them and become happy to see them unharmed. Later in the evening, Fi tells Simone that they should leave the place in the morning, mentioning that other strangers can also invade their place. In the meantime, a number of drones can be seen above their building. In the following scene, Kira brings Patrick and Martin to the other secret entrance of the base and asks Patrick to look after the entrance while she and Martin go inside. After some time, Martin and Kira enter the base, but are confronted by Jean for bringing an unknown person to the base. Kira seems to know the place very well, and she tells Martin that Jean is in the control room and is monitoring them through the CCTV cameras. Jean then tells Martin that Rasmus killed Lee and blames him for walking out on them. Furthermore, he threatens Martin to bring Rasmus to him or else he will press the alarm button. Afraid, Kira tells Martin to obey Jean's order and bring Rasmus to him. The scene then shifts to Simone and Fi distributing a shiny dress to everyone so that they remain invisible from the strangers' drones. While they are trying to exit from a back door, Martin arrives there and stops them. Seeing him, Simone gets happy and excitedly hugs him. She also requests he never leave her again. Soon, Martin takes the group near the control room, where Kira can be seen trying to talk to Jean and calm him down. Moments later, Martin arrives there with the rest of the group and tries to talk with Jean on his own. Unfortunately, when Jean notices Rasmus with him, he immediately presses the button, setting off a disturbing alarm around the building. This alarm makes everyone close their ears, and Kira manages to shoot some of the speakers to lower the intensity of the alarm. Jean is watching all this through the CCTV cameras, and surprisingly, he notices Lee on one of the monitors. She signals him to stop with the madness and be with the group. Realizing his mistake, Jean turns off the alarm and rushes out of the control room. Meanwhile, the group which is trying to get out of the building is spotted by the strangers, and they fire some bullets at them. Though Kira manages to knock each of the strangers down, it's too late because Sarah is already shot in her stomach. Seeing Sarah suffering from pain, Rasmus approaches her and tries to comfort her. Sarah tells him that she will not survive and requests Rasmus to kiss her. As soon as Rasmus kisses her, Sarah smiles and dies in his lap. This makes Rasmus very sad, and the virus within him seems to reappear. Simone is taken aback to see Rasmus changing his body color and emitting the virus. When a group of strangers approaches Rasmus, he attacks them with the virus and kills them instantly. Simone tries to stop him, but an angry Rasmus continues his way forward, killing everyone who comes in front of him. In the next scene, Rasmus steps outside the building after killing everyone coming in his way. Soon, Simone calls him from behind and asks him to get back to the base, but an angry Rasmus does not comply and decides to walk away. Seeing this, Simone picks up a gun and points it at Rasmus. This enraged Rasmus even more, and he starts emitting the virus from his body. He then moves towards Simone, but just then, Martin distracts him from behind. As Rasmus directs the virus towards Martin, Simone shoots Rasmus and stops the virus from reaching Martin. To everyone's surprise, the bullet has no effect on Rasmus as his wound immediately heals and he walks away from there. The season ends with Rasmus approaching Sten and Sarah gaining her life back and showing symptoms like Rasmus with nerves in her body turning black. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit that like button to help our channel grow. Turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our new videos. Thanks for watching.